Essential points to remember as we wrap up. First, a critical consideration that most legal scholars consistently point to: ending birthright citizenship as currently defined by the 14th Amendment. Well, it generally requires a constitutional amendment.
And that's an incredibly high bar, a really high hurdle. It demands a two-thirds vote in both chambers of Congress and ratification by three-fourths of the states. Given the current political climate and, frankly, the 14th Amendment's explicit language, this is seen as a highly unlikely scenario.
Very difficult. And while the executive order's enforcement might prove temporary if courts eventually strike it down, even temporary enforcement could affect thousands and thousands of newborns, creating immediate and profound social and legal challenges. It's hard to overstate that human impact in the interim.
Yes, the human impact in the interim is significant, absolutely. And while class action lawsuits could eventually restore broader protections, that whole process is notoriously time-consuming, and the outcome is uncertain.
Right. It's also worth remembering the historical context here. Efforts to end birthright citizenship have largely been considered a fringe legal theory among mainstream legal scholars.
That's true, mainly because of the clear precedent set by Wong Kim Ark and, 125 years of consistent application.
So it's not like this is a brand new debate, but the approach is different.
Exactly. And critics argue that attempts to end birthright citizenship fundamentally undermine a core constitutional right established post-Civil War, a right specifically intended to ensure equality for all born in the U.S.
Okay, so here are the key takeaways from our deep dive today. The Supreme Court's June 27, 2025 ruling does not end birthright citizenship. Let's be clear on that.
Right.
Instead, it limits nationwide injunctions. This allows President Trump's executive order to potentially take effect in up to 28 states by approximately July 27, 2025. This could lead to a fragmented patchwork citizenship system, a significant increase in the undocumented population, and immediate legal, social, and political consequences across the country.
And looking ahead, ongoing class action lawsuits and a likely future Supreme Court review will ultimately determine the policy's long-term fate. But the immediate future may involve considerable confusion and inequality for U.S.-born children in affected states. And crucially, the ruling also sets a precedent that could weaken judicial oversight of executive actions, with much broader implications for U.S. governance and the balance of power.
And so here's a provocative thought for you to consider as we close. This ruling is about more than just citizenship. It really delves into the very structure of our government. What does this decision signal about the balance of power between our different branches, the courts, the president, Congress? And how might that shape not only immigration policy, but a host of other federal issues for years to come, long after this particular executive order is resolved?